thank you so much for joining us back here at the Treadling Home Kitchen. Today, my husband is super excited because we're making one of his favorite things, I think, ever. The Black Forest Brownies. Now, he's so excited. If you know anything about desserts, Black Forest is usually anything that's dark chocolate and has some sort of cherry in it. For this recipe, we're going to be using the Ghirardelli's dark chocolate brownie mix, the Ghirardelli 60% cocoa bittersweet chocolate. You can also find this all generic, but I find that it works better if you use the Ghirardelli brand for some reason. And you know, if you read my blog, Treadling Home, that I'm not brand loyal to just about anything. I will take generic over anything to save $1, but this one, it really does make a huge difference to go ahead and do that. If you're going to get generic for the brownie mix, it's pretty good if you use just like a regular milk chocolate brownie mix, but ask my husband, it makes a huge difference if you have the dark chocolate. So in addition to those, we're going to use an entire bag of dried cherries in this. It keeps the kind of chewy texture of the brownie consistent. We have our oil and eggs according to the box. Side note, I always put at least a tablespoon extra of oil in my brownies because it keeps them just slightly more chewy, and I am a huge fan of chewy brownies. So, we're going to go ahead and mix these up. Maybe. We're going to use the entire package. I saw some people like to use half of a brownie mix or like half recipes, but this one's super easy. You just dump stuff in and go for it. And we're going to throw our entire bag of cherries in here with the dried mix. See, a whole bag of cherries really isn't that much. So, the chocolate, we're going to put in about half the bag, but we're just going to eyeball it because, I mean, if you get some extra chocolate, who doesn't love that, right? So, take it, put your hand around it about halfway down and dump. Is that enough? You want a little bit more? Okay. Is that good? Okay, good. My husband's the cameraman and he loves chocolate. So we have our one egg. And I try to always break them in a little ramekin or something. If you have a little baby bowl or something. Just that way, if you get the shell in there, you can fish it out a little bit easier. Dump that in. And our oil. And the one thing I didn't get, the box also calls for a 1/4 cup of water. So I'm just going to grab that over here at the sink real quick. Pretty good, right? For a measuring cup that's got about, you know, nothing left on it. So, there's that. I'm going to mix it up. And it's going to be like any other brownie mix. Brownie mixes are pretty thick. So, I find this sweeping motion kind of works a little bit better when you're mixing up thicker batters. Just kind of gets everything down in there. All right. Look how amazing that looks. Yes, I'm so excited. All right. The thing that's going to make this recipe special for the 14 days of recipes you'll love in honor of Valentine's Day is that we're going to cut them with cookie cutters after they're done. So in order to make that a little bit easier, I'm going to go ahead and use just this regular, we call them cookie sheets. Some people call them jelly roll pans, but it's the smaller size of it. I don't even know what size it is, but it's a smaller one. And we always use our cooking spray when we're making brownies, or else you're really going to be sad because you'll end up with like brownie pieces instead of full brownies. So make sure that you get the corners. Beauteous. Now, just go ahead and, oops, got some batter. Got some dried stuff in the bottom. No biggie, just mix it in. There we go. You want to make sure that you scrape the bowl really well so that you get everything in there. Your husband or kids, whoever you're cooking with, might not be happy about you scraping the bowl so well, but they'll be happy whenever they have full brownies. That looks pretty good. I'll leave him a little bit since he's helping. Then you're going to take your spatula and just kind of spread this out a little bit. It's going to be pretty thin compared to how you would usually do the brownie mix, but trust me, you're only 10 minutes tops, so if it's a little bit thinner, that's okay. So just make sure that you get it all the way spread out. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so we're going to put this in a 325 oven that is preheated. And there we go. We'll go ahead and set our kitchen timer for 5 minutes. And our oven runs kind of hot, and the one side is a little bit hotter than the other, and I know that because I use it so much. So I turn it 180 degrees, anything that I'm baking, about halfway through the baking time to ensure even cooking. So we'll see you again here in about 5 minutes. It's been about 5 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and check these. Oh, can you see that? Oh my god, these look so good.
They could smell through the camera.
Right, though? I think this is how Homer Simpson feels with donuts. Just saying. Okay, so we're going to turn it 180 and leave it in there. See how it's starting to get a little crispy around the edges? I'm totally okay with that because the edges are my favorite. So we'll go ahead and put this back in here. Looks like it'll be good for another 5 minutes. And then we'll take them, out and let them cool for about 3 to 5 before we go ahead and use our brand new cookie cutters to cut them into super cute shapes. All right, see you in a few. The alarm has sounded. Let's give these beasts a check, shall we? Yes! Look at that gorgeous. Look at that. That is exactly what you want them to look like. I'm just going to set them on the stove here. Yes. I don't know if you can get in there and hear the sizzle, but it sounds so yummy. All right, so we're going to let these set for probably between 5 and 10 minutes to let them cool a little bit so that whenever we use our adorable new cookie cutters on them to make them Valentine's festive, they won't just completely fall apart. They need to be pretty cool for that. So we'll see you here in just a little bit. All right, so this ended up being way more messy than anticipated. But that's okay. That's part of the fun. So we went ahead and cut up the brownies with open top cookie cutters because they ended up puffing up and being kind of thick. But this is kind of what they ended up like. Little hearts and lips and stuff. I think they came out really cute. Now, heads up, you will have a pile of yumminess left over. So, can you just get in there and see that meltiness? You see that? So good. Follow it. So good. My husband was eating like all of the scraps. So, delicious. Alright, well, that's our post for today. I hope that you're enjoying the 14 days of recipes you'll love. I guarantee this will be a crowd pleaser and you really will love it. Alright, hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks for visiting the Traveling Home Kitchen.